Hey, good morning, everyone. Big weekend in the motorsports world last weekend. Four races, two road course tracks, two races each. The St. Petersburg for the trucks and the NASCAR trucks in the IndyCar series, and Circuit of the Americas for O'Reilly in the Cup series. We had a handful of pretty exciting races, and all of them left something worth talking about, I think. The trucks was just an amusing event to watch. The first ever street circuit for the truck series. They never did go to Chicago. Lane Riggs really kind of started his championship hunt today um, on Saturday. Didn't have a very strong Daytona or Atlanta, so now he's kind of back in the hunt. Really had to beat out the Thor Sport trucks. Ty Majeski and Ben Rhodes were able to be his primary competition throughout the race. Connor Mosack started on pole, led the openers, had some pit road issues that really took him out of it. He was a contender for victory as well. Dario Franchitti and James Hinchcliffe both had really good runs. I think Franchitti had some gearbox trouble that really relegated him, but he ran right in this area most of the day, which isn't too bad for his, not having a major series race since 2013. I hope to see him back as well. Chandler Smith maintains his points lead with a very strong fourth place finish. It's really starting to look like it's going to be a front row versus Thor Sport championship battle. Fifth place is Caden Honeycutt. He is leading the he's leading the Tricon brigade there. Landon Lewis, great run by the Cars Tour star for Nice in 45. Andres Perez de Lara in the other Nice truck, really showing to be quite the strong road racer. This is where his best performances have been. He gets seventh. Daniel Hemrick, finally some life for Daniel Hemrick. He still has a lot of ground to make up, but no better place to start than now. Colin Braun, by far the best of the Ram drivers. Didn't feel like Ram really brought a good setup to St. Pete. I expected a little more from Colin Braun, but none of the Ram guys were really terribly impressive. And rounding up the top 10, it's the Canadian James Hinchcliffe. Um, Interesting run from Hinch. He was kind of back and forth all race long, got into some trouble several times, but was able to bring it back up into the top 10. As far as the point standings are concerned, Chandler Smith, as we said before, maintains his points lead. Ben Rhodes, Ty Majeski, they cut into it a tiny bit, but it's still very much the Chandler Smith show. Gio Ruggiero didn't have the greatest of races, but he finished just outside the top 10, so he's not going to be terribly upset with that result. Lane Riggs jumps up to fifth, much needed run for Lane. Caden Honeycutt holding strong in sixth place. He is very much looking like the next first time winner in the truck series. It feels like he's overdue. Seventh place, Andres Perez de Lara. He is showing out that he might be Mr. Consistency in the truck series. Hasn't really shown race winning pace in any of these races, but you come to the end of these things and he's running seventh all the damn time. Eighth place, Stuart Friesen, continuing his unreal comeback after his accident last year. Christian Eckes in ninth, a bit of a slow start for the McAnally Hildeman guys, but Eckes keeps himself in position nonetheless. And 10th place, it's Justin Haley in the first Ram truck for Collie. Just outside, it's Butterbean Queen. He's 1 point behind his teammate. That's going to start looking like an interesting battle for the final playoff spots or the chase spots in the truck series. There's definitely more than 10 capable trucks who can make the chase. Honestly, the truck series might be the deepest field in terms of competitive trucks versus the chase spots. And the two big guys in early trouble, it's still Daniel Hemrick. He's 19th place, 106 out. He's still 20 points out of a chase spot. But races like this will definitely help him. He was far further out of the top 10 a couple days ago. So He'll be quite pleased with that. And Grant Enfinger really hasn't. We really haven't seen what we're expecting out of Grant yet. He's 25 points out of a playoff spot, 111 back at Chandler Smith. It really feels like he really has no momentum to start this year. And now the Truck Series is taking a bit of a break, so he has some time to kind of recalibrate and kind of get back to things as we go to some more regular circuits for the Truck Series. On to the IndyCar Series, and death taxes Alex Palou winning on our street circuit. Um, Alex Palou ran third for most of the opening stint. It was Scott McLaughlin and Marcus Ericsson kind of setting the tone for that first little 30 lap stint. When they pitted, Alex Palou went long on that stint, was able to conserve his tires and his fuel, go a few laps later, and he made the overcut work. He came out in front of McLaughlin, he came out in front of Ericsson, Lundgaard, Kirkwood, and we never saw him again. He finished about 15 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, and that's all she wrote. Scott McLaughlin very much was viewed as the best of the rest in this race. He had nothing for Palou, but he was the best Chevrolet by far. Christian Lundgaard had a great race. Really put a stamp on the McLaren team here. He outdueled Pato. He outdueled his teammate Patricio Award for the top McLaren. Kyle Kirkwood, fourth place finish. The Andretti guys really showed some pace this weekend. Feels like a good start to the year for everyone in McLaren and Andretti except for Will Power, but we'll get to that later. Pato with a strong top five. Hopefully his consistency can continue on and go through the year, and he can potentially be a championship contender. Hi, Cute Cat. What's up, Bo? Sixth place. Great start to the year for Marcus Ericsson. You can't ask much more than that. He probably went a little too long on his stints. He didn't quite have the tire to do what Palou and even McLaughlin did. He was losing a lot of time on the last couple laps of those stints, and it might have cost him a podium position. But still, sixth place after the kind of year he had last year. I don't think he's going to complain too much. Joseph Newgarden in seventh after starting in the back. Great run for Newgarden, kind of showing that Penske may have their pace back after losing ungodly amounts of races last year due to mistakes and lack of pace. 8th and 10th for the Dale Coyne guys. Romain Grosjean in 8th, Dennis Hoger in 10th. What more can you say? Dale Coyne with a double top 10. That's so cool to see. Good race for the little guys. And Rinus VeeKay splitting them in 9th. So the back end of that top 10 is full of some fun names that we don't usually get to see here. Dennis Hoger probably could have finished up in 6th or 7th if it wasn't for some rookie mistakes and some pit lane issues. Points, much like the finishing order, we're not going to spend too much time on that. Alex Palou starts the year the way he started last year as the points leader. It's going to be up to Scotty Mack and Christian Lundgaard. It's going to be up to all these guys who want to be championship contenders to make sure that gap does not widen. You want to be able to keep Palou in sight. Last year, he was gone by race 4, and no one ever saw him again. As far as the early trouble goes, Will Power had an accident. Same place in practice that he had an accident, destroyed his car. Scott Dixon had a wheel come off after his first pit stop, and that really, it was the second pit stop because he pitted earlier in the race. He pitted on the first caution. He was going for a fuel strategy run that ended up being all for naught as his left rear wheel fell off, and that ended the day for Scott Dixon. So he is starting the year 45 points back of his teammate. That's a uphill battle for anybody, but if anyone can pull it off, it's going to be the Iceman. And then 24th and 25th, Santino Ferrucci and Mick Schumacher involved in a first lap accident that was pretty much all on Stingray Robb. And it's really kind of a bummer that Stingray ended up being the one to get out of it unscathed. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Okay, bud. Yeah. Moving on to the O'Reilly series, it was the SVG and Connor Zilic show as expected. You'll notice Connor Zilic is not on the finishing board. We have Corey Day to thank for that. SVG put on a clinic like he always does in the O'Reilly series. Silly man. I'm going to kick you out of the room. Anyways. The SVG with another reasonably dominant win in the O'Reilly series. No one really had anything for him. Austin Hill. None of the O'Reilly series regulars have had anything really for Austin Hill this year. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep his performance going as we go to the more regular tracks next week. Sammy Smith, Jesse Love, really showing their road course prowess. You got to imagine Jesse Love has to have picked something up from Connor Zilic by this point. 5th place, Corey Day. Really good run for Corey Day and a really good run for Brent Cruz. But Corey Day's been making a lot of enemies these first 3 weeks. He's really going to need to tone it down before someone gives him some payback and knocks him out of top 10 in the point standings. He definitely misjudged it, and he took out a race-winning car on Connor Zilic, especially one that's aligned with him. Hendrick and JRM aren't fully teammates, but they're about as close as one can be. As you said, Brent Cruz in his debut, 6th place, excellent run. Now he's on his championship bid. He's going to be starting from behind the 8 ball. Oh, he's only guilty of not turning 18 soon enough, really. 7th place, William Sawalich. Great race for William there. JGR is finally starting to build some momentum. None of them have shown really that great in the results area. But now Sawalich and Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray, they're all kind of hanging out right along the precipice of making the chase in that top 12. And Brent Cruz is well on his way to making his charge up there now too. 8th, Justin Allgaier. Nice, boring, safe race for Justin. I think he kind of needed that after all the nonsense that he had last week. Ross Chastain, 9th place. Nice, boring race for Ross, too. Definitely didn't have race winning pace. But, a top 10 for Ross. It's just nice to see Ross in these races, honestly. He is a Circuit of the Americas race winner, and I'm hoping that him participating in these races is helping Jordan Anderson quite a bit. Always nice to see some Xfinity or O'Reilly Series only teams show some compete level. And in 10th place, Brendan Poole. I don't know how he does this. He'll be always on the outskirts of the top 10 in cars that have nowhere near the level of funding of the others. Like, if we look at the money needed to put the 44 on track and money needed to put the 18 on track, it has to be multitudes of 10, maybe even 100 at this point. Great run from Brendan Poole. He's doing great at keeping himself in the chase battle. On to the point standings here. Austin Hill, he extends his points lead further. He is now 28 up on Jesse Love. Justin Allgaier holding on to 3rd, 39 points back. 4th place, Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed had a pretty boring day, but he holds on to 4th place, 48 back as we go back to the ovals, seeing if Sheldon can go back-to-back on the ovals. 5th place, Carson Kvapil. That one race for DGM did not hurt his point standings, which is what the main concern, I think, was for Kvapil fans this year. He's doing most of the year for JRM, but would it be those few races that he's driving in lesser equipment that would hurt him? And that race showed that it did not, and it will not. 6th place, Raja Karuth. He tumbles down from 2nd. He had a very up and down day, but he is still safely well, as safely as one can be. He's still very much in the hunt. Sammy Smith has moved up to 7th place. He's only 68 back. He's tied with Corey Day, who is also 68 back. Um, I didn't put the car beside Corey Day. That boy's a rookie. 9th place, Parker Retzlaff. I think that's the first of the surprises on the board. Viking Motorsports holding on to 9th place in the points. It'll be an uphill battle for him to hold on to it when you have the Joe Gibbs racing cars coming up from behind, and a handful of other drivers that definitely have the car, the experience, and the talent to make moves into the top 12, unless Parker Retzlaff can maintain this as we go to the intermediates and the short tracks on the schedule. 10th place, Sam Mayer. Disappointing day for Sam Mayer. He was running up front for a lot of the race, and it just fell apart on him near the end. He was expected to be a bit of a contender if SVG and Zilich slipped up, so he was kind of expected to finish up in this area, and it's never happened for him. Brandon Jones finished 11th, is 11th in points. That's about where people expect Brandon Jones to be. He's nice, he's safe, he's going to bring the car home in one piece, and he's going to win 1 to 2 races a year. And he's showing that that's kind of what he's going to be. 12th place, Brendan Poole. As mentioned earlier, it's amazing that he just keeps doing this. But he has quite the uphill battle to hold off Taylor Gray and William Sawalich, who are 13th and 14th in the standings right now. Early trouble, Austin Green in the 87 car. Poor finish for him this week, and it was expected that he was going to be up there contending in the top 10. Road courses are his bread and butter. He has very much improved on the ovals, but these tracks are where he's expected to be a contender, and that's one race down for him to make up some ground. Not so much early trouble. He's only in this trouble because he wasn't old enough to race at Atlanta or Daytona. Brent Cruz, he's 123 back. He is 39 points back of that final chase spot. He has a lot of drivers to pass. He has the car and he has the talent to do so, but he's going to have to limit his mistakes. And as a rookie, that's been shown to be pretty difficult for some of them. I do expect him to win some races this year, though. And he showed, at least at the road courses, that he was O'Reilly Series ready. As we go to the ovals, the expectation will be for him to keep that momentum going. Him and the other JGR cars really need to start rounding into form. Like, they shouldn't be hanging out in the 10th and below. They should be up there competing with the Austin Hills and the Justin Allgairs and the Chevrolet guys. They're the only mainline Toyota team. It's them and Sam Hunt, and Toyota really needs to be having some drivers up there battling for the regular season championship. 51, Jeremy Clements, he's 129 back. 24, Harrison Burton, 136 back. It is early, but I almost think with those two, we can call it that they're not going to be chase contenders this year. They're too far back, and they don't have the cars underneath them to make that gap up. Jeremy Clements is good for a surprise victory and can have some really good runs, but I don't see how he can make up 45 points on the Taylor Grays and the William Sawaliches of the world. And the same goes for Harrison Burton, who's already, he is 52 points back of Brendan Poole in 12th. That's a big ask unless a lot changes for them. And then on to the Cup Series. When I do this for next week's race, I'm probably just going to leave Tyler Reddick up there and just see if I can save the erasing, because that's 3 in a row for Reddick. And no one could really touch him all day. SVG, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, they all had chances at him. They all had a shot, and they might have been able to get by him if Reddick made a mistake, but Reddick made no mistakes. Connor Zilich might have been as fast as him, but every time Zilich got close, something else happened that knocked him to the back. You're not going to see Zilich in the top 10, but he probably had the most impressive top 15 run I've ever seen. SVG second place, just missed out on a sixth consecutive road course victory. Um, he just did not have the car Tyler Reddick had today. He was wheeling that thing, but the Toyotas had something else under that hood. You could see it whenever they came off the turns, and whenever they would go down the long straightaway, Tyler Reddick would just gap him. Van Gisbergen was better in sectors 2 and 3, but it just wasn't enough to put Reddick under enough pressure in the passing zones to make a mistake, and that's what it was going to need. Reddick was going to need to make a mistake. Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs finally get some good runs. They really needed it after the rough beginning to the year. Joe Gibbs Racing in general has had a really poor start to the year in both series that they race in. Bell and Gibbs pitted on that late caution, really made their way up, but that was kind of where they stagnated. They were making some ground up on Reddick and Van Gisbergen, but the tires leveled out before they were gonna make any reasonable charge to victory. Michael McDowell's king of the random strategies this year. Almost pulled off another 500 victory. Here he went long, held out for the caution, and was able to drag everyone else to pit, most of the others to pit road. He got a top 5 out of it, and shows just how great of a road racer he is. Kyle Larson, 6th place. Chase Elliott, 7th place. Ryan Blaney, 8th place. Larson and Elliott kind of where you expect them to finish now, but probably not where they expect to finish. You expect Larson and Elliott to be battling for the wins on these road courses, and they just really had nothing for the Joe Gibbs Racing guys in SVG. Blaney in 8th. Disappointing run for Blaney. He was one of those ones that did not pit under the last caution, and unlike Reddick and SVG, he was not able to hold off that charging pack. AJ Allmendinger, 9th place. Really cool to see AJ finally get a result he deserves on a road course. He's really good at running in the top 10 and then having something happen, whether it be strategy or another driver taking him out of it. And then 10th place is Denny Hamlin. He'll be quite happy with a top 10 run at a road course. It's been a while since he did that. On to the point standings. Reddick is putting his foot to the butt of the field this year. He is at 186 points. He is 70 up on Bubba Wallace. You're not going to see Bubba Wallace in the top 10, but he had a great run by Bubba Wallace standards at a road course. He finished 11th. So 23-11 holds on to the top 2 spots. Chase Elliott's in 3rd, finishing 7th, and lost a ton of ground to the leader still. That's crazy. Blaney's in 4th. SVG, 5th place in points. What a great start to the year for SVG. The big hurdle for SVG is going to be next week as we hit some more regular tracks that we're going to see on the schedule. If he can maintain some runs and get some top 10s there, he's going to be one of those ones that isn't going to get knocked out of this 16-person chase at this point. Joey Logano in 6th, had a nice boring race, finished in the top 15. Daniel Suarez in 7th. He had a really good run, and it kind of fell apart at the end, but he maintains the top 7 championship position. He's 99 points back to the leader. He is still the top Spire car, and all 3 Spire cars are in the top 10 in points, which is really impressive. They are the only team to have all of their cars in the top 10. 2311 has 2. Hendrick has only 1. Penske has the 2. Trackhouse has 1. Spire has 3. That's crazy. AJ Allmendinger moves up to 8th. Great run for the Colleague team. Ty Dillon isn't too far behind either. He's only in 19th, and he doesn't have that road course prowess that they can rely on like AJ does. But even Ty didn't really have that bad of a run here either. Michael McDowell, 9th place. Carson Hocevar in 10th place. Hocevar had an okay run, but he was very clearly Spire number 3 at Coda. But he kept it in one piece for the most part, and he was able to bring it home, which is what Carson Hocevar really needs to start doing. Chris Buescher in 11th. Brad Keselowski in 12th. Buescher, I think most people expected Buescher to be racing for, if not victory, racing for the top 5, and they just didn't quite have the pace this weekend. Brad Keselowski, really good run for Brad considering what he was dealing with. They had Joey Hand on standby. Brad stayed in the car the entire race. Um, and things fell their way. It wasn't looking too good. He was last car on the lead lap for a good portion of it. It really looked like it was affecting him. Was able to come in under that last caution and really kind of save what could have been a really bad day for him. 13th, William Byron. We haven't really seen William Byron look like William Byron yet this year. He's been good, but not great. For someone who was looked at as one of the preseason favorites for the championship, 13th is going to be quite the disappointment. 14th, Zane Smith. Really bad luck for Zane Smith. He got taken out in the wreck that took Connor Zilic out of a race-winning position. He was running way up there in the top 5 and the top 10 for most of the day, and it'll be interesting to see if he can bounce back and see if he can maintain his spot in the top 16 with a lot of hungry drivers there behind him. 15th place, Kyle Larson, much like his teammate Byron. Really haven't seen Kyle Larson show up yet. 6th place at Coda's. It's kind of wild that 6th place is below expectations for Kyle, but it is. He still hasn't won a race since he did the Indy 500 last year. He's almost at a year now. 15th is not where he expected to be, that's for sure. 16th place, it's the final RFK guy, Ryan Preece. As we mentioned with Brad and Chris Buescher, not really seeing the speed from RFK at the road courses. Preece is not on the level of Chris Buescher at the road courses, but he's definitely shown some great improvement there. And they just didn't get the finishes they needed. On the outside looking in, it's Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson, and Ty Dillon, all tied, 121 points back. Of those three, I think it's safe to say Ty Gibbs is the one that these guys up here need to be worrying about. Gibbs finally kind of showed out and had a solid finish. He is the highest Gibbs driver in points, which is crazy to think about. But him and Briscoe are the only ones to have like a reasonable finish so far this year. Obviously, Benny got 10th, but you're not expecting a 10th place to be worth celebrating for anyone but Denny Hamlin at a road course. So Gibbs is the top JGR guy, which I wouldn't expect that to last all year. You have 3 other really strong cars in that stable that should be, at the very least, matching Ty. And that's 4 very strong Toyotas trying to break their way into this battle to meet up with the 22311 Toyotas we already have in the chase here. Early trouble here, Chase Briscoe. Last week was so long ago now. Yeah, really good run in Atlanta, and it's gone up in flames here. Not sure exactly what happened. He only had one wheel spinning. Had to go behind the wall. Really ruined what should have been a really good day for Chase. He's a brilliant road racer. Really should have came out of here with a really good finish. Austin Cindric, 31st in points, 147 back. That is 29 points back of the final playoff spot. It sucks watching Austin Cindric struggle on road courses. When he came into the Cup Series, that was expected to be his bread and butter. And ever since they went to the next gen car, that has just not been the case. It's really early in the season, but I think the thing saving Cindric from talk about losing his ride is the lack of a forward pipeline. He needs to start putting in some solid results, especially when you're seeing Blaney and Logano up there in the top 6 in points. To be 31st is unacceptable. 32nd place, Connor Zilic. We finally saw some speed out of Connor Zilic, which is great. Really had a shot at winning this race. It just never came to be. Finished 14th. Got some but he made it to the end of the race too. Like, that's the big thing for him. He hasn't made it to the end of any of these races yet. There's finally some life in his rookie campaign. 34th, Austin Dillon. Nothing positive to come out for Austin Dillon yet. 3 races, 3 stinkers. Same thing for Eric Jones. He's in 35th, 154 back. Had another poor race at Circuit of the Americas. Nothing really positive to come out of that. 36th, the last of the full-time drivers. It's 48 car Alex Bowman. He had to come out of the car. He was replaced by Myatt Snyder. He's 42 points back of, no, he's more than that. He's 45 points back of the final playoff spot. And he has not shown the pace. He has not shown the energy. And none of the Hendrick drivers have really shown out in the first 3 races yet. But compared to Alex Bowman, they're at least in position. You know, you have Elliott in 3rd, and then you have Byron and Larson in the back half here. Alex Bowman has one heck of a mountain to climb. He's put himself in quite the hole to start the year. And for someone in a contract year, that's no good. He's going to need to start turning it around pretty quick. It'll be something worth watching to see if any rumors around that 48 car start appearing in the next couple weeks. But yeah, that's our 4 races for the week. See you guys next week.